Ms. Anna Carlson, Mr. Martin Nguyen, and Mr. Kan Nguyen.
Okay, Manpreet Singh and Kan Hun are already in the queue. They've already been moved up, so we will add the others. Follow if there is a second to the motion.
Thank you.
Discussion. Favoring, opposed, motion carries. You ready? You may proceed.
Well, I'm here today as a community leader and as a pastor, as someone who was born at St. Joseph Hospital just a few blocks away. Proud to be part of the community here in Houston. Councilmember Stardig mentioned that there are a number of people who feel left out in this conversation. I would certainly add my name to that list. I think that this ordinance is it's a problem. It's a problem on a lot of levels. It is a problem because of the way it's been done. It's a problem because of what it represents. I really appreciate Councilmember Stardig's letter that I have here that expresses some of my concerns. That it's incomprehensible, and I quote, how this city can waste our time and tax dollars on this issue. There's still potholes, road repairs, and additional police and fire needs to which our city dollars should be allocated. In that, she was discussing how there's a role for city government, there's a role for federal government, there's a role for state government. And we have a...
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired.
There are not enough councilors in the chamber to... Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Kubas, excuse me.
Oh, well, thank you. All I was saying is that the city should be about the city's business and include in something like this the people who are stakeholders in this community. As a pastor here and a community leader, we want Houston to be a great city. And I don't believe we have to be like any other city to be that. We live in the best city in the state of Texas, and let's keep it that way. I urge you all to vote no on this ordinance.
Councilman Robinson.
Sir, I'm sorry, I wanted to hear your name and the
Hi,
church that you represent.
my name is Garett Booth, and I represent Grace Community Church.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Davis.
Am I done?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Willie Davis. Be followed by Steve Riddle.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. To council, let me say again, 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to stand before this council and express my concern in asking the council to vote this ordinance out. And I think it's pretty obvious again, and I want to say, and I'm listening very carefully. As I speak, I like to listen. And I'm not trying to sway anybody's particular opinion because I would that everybody. We heard from the president of the NAACP. We've had a lot of people. Councilman T. Bradford expressed his feelings about the idea that the confusion has been aroused. I stated this 2 weeks ago. Here we're calling this an equal rights ordinance, and it's divided. What's equal about it? I've heard ex-council people coming here and talking about equal rights ordinance. We got people, we got the elephant versus the rabbit about this ordinance. But it is obvious to me, it's very obvious, that if it was equal, then it should have been equally, everybody should have been equally informed. This is an ordinance that's going to affect the city of Houston. It is going to affect those things. And mind you, let me say this, for the record, people are always misquoting Dr. King. I heard ex-councilman Delon Jones quoted by Dr. King. She don't know any more about Dr. King than probably some out there. I come from an organization.
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired. Thank you.
Councilor Kubas.
Yes, let me make that perfectly clear, because first of all, people always misquoting. Let me tell you something. Equal rights for this country, Dr. King's name was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. The president of the NAACP name is Reverend Reginald Liddy. We are not opposed to people's rights. I support equal rights for people all across this world. But the fact of the matter is, stop trying to put something as perception when you're running away from reality. The reality to this is not about an equal rights. This is about an ordinance to support the issue of a restaurant. Look at the people that are arguing in favor of it. The issue has nothing to do with equal rights. I've heard the council, the city attorney, in his address to the committee was that we don't have a problem. But now all of a sudden, we've got people getting discriminated. Councilman Jerry Davis made a statement, well, this is about women and whatever. This order did not start with that. Thank you.
Pastor Regal to be followed by Anthony Williams, Con Hunt, Tamara Bell, and Ryan Leach. Sir?
Thank you, council members. As Becky said, our concerns are not myths. Situations exist where there are issues. And those issues cannot be ignored. They are realities. We will provide you with plenty of examples. Councilmember Cohen, situations do exist right now where people of faith simply decline to bake a cake or to provide flowers for a wedding between two men or two women simply because of their deeply held religious convictions. And because of ordinances just like this one. Some have lost their businesses, they have been sued, they have been harassed. What about their rights? And is that what we want in Houston, Texas?
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired.
Councilman Kubash.
Thank you. It is offensive that Councilmember Cohen would badger a respected community leader who happens to be my wife. It is also offensive that evidently Councilmember Cohen believes that cake bakers and flower providers should be forced to provide a service that would violate their faith. There are a lot of people who are going to speak today, some for, some against, and I respect every single person's right to have their opinion. This is a very, very difficult issue. I don't believe in discriminating against anyone, and the reality is we all discriminate because we make choices every day. It's a tough problem that all of you are called to address. There was a much larger group of people outside at noon that we had to turn away people.
Is there a motion to extend time?
Second.
There we propose the motion.
What about
carries.
those people we turned away?
Councilmember Kubash, you have exhausted your time unless you ask him another question. I have another councilmember in the queue. Councilmember Cohen.
Thank you. I'm sorry if there was some misunderstanding. I merely had asked a question, and I was trying to get a clear explanation. I'll be more than happy to ask you the same question. I think it's a fair and legitimate question.
Well, I think I answered it. I'm not sure you were in the room, but I'll answer it again for you.
Let's have a discussion about it then. I come in and I ask to be served in your flower shop. And for some reason, you do, well, for whatever, let's use the faith issue again, and you determine that you don't want to serve me because of my faith, or
If you
someone
came in
because
to
of
the
their
flower
color.
shop, let me just give you the incidents that have actually happened. So we're not talking about conjecture here or whatever. Incidents that have actually happened that are a matter of record right now in this country because of ordinances just like this one.
But I'm asking you.
Let me finish my answer and I'll answer your question. Where a gay couple came in and said to a flower provider, we're going to get married and we want you to provide the flowers.
Discussion favoring opposed.
We want you to provide the flowers for our wedding. And the person wasn't hateful, they weren't ugly, they just said, because of my religious convictions, my feeling about marriage between one man and one woman that's deeply rooted in the scripture,
I
I
understand.
cannot do that.
I understand what you're saying. Suppose I come in and I say, I want flowers for my wedding to my male partner, and our faith is a faith that perhaps you don't believe in, and don't
What
accept.
faith would that be?
Would you, and you wanted to refuse service to me, can you refuse service to me? That's all I'm asking is, can you refuse service?
What do you mean by could we refuse service?
Exactly what you just said, you refuse service to a.
I think that
I'm really
I-
trying to get a clear
I'm
explanation.
trying to give you
Because
one.
to me, it seems to me that there's some kind of double talk, and
No,
it's
there's
okay.
no double
It's
talk.
okay to be against one group, but not against other groups. So my question is,
It's not about a group. It's about a person who believes that marriage is between one man and one woman based on the Bible. And they were willing to sacrifice their business to say, I'm sorry, I cannot provide you that service.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Reynolds.